So there was a rabbi named Shner Zalman of Liadi, also known as the Alter Rebbe. And one time he was staying for a short while in a small town when a fire broke out. And despite the best efforts of the firefighters in town and even a regiment of soldiers who were stationed in the town, they tried and tried, but they could not put out this fire because a strong wind was fanning the flames, lifting them higher and higher, and even sending sparks all through the town, threatening to set the whole town ablaze. When someone came and warned the Alter Rebbe, he asked to be shown this house. And when he came, he stood and leaned on his cane and stared intently at the house for a few moments. And suddenly, out of nowhere, the wind died down. And within a few moments, the fire was brought under control and then extinguished. And everyone celebrated this amazing feat, this rabbi who had somehow changed nature and helped put out this fire. And when word got to the general stationed in town, he asked to see the Alter Rebbe and then asked him, "Rabbi, are you by any chance a grandson of Rabbi Israel Baal Shem Tov, the founder of Chassidic, the Baal Shem Tov?" And the Alter Rebbe said, "In fact, I'm his grandson, but in a spiritual sense, because I'm the disciple of his disciple." And then the general said, well, let me tell you something that happened to my father. And he took out a big leather volume, and he said, "My father was also a general, and he was stationed outside the town of Mezhebush. And at one point, he simply stopped hearing from his wife. He wrote letter after letter, but nothing back. He became more and more worried until one of the soldiers in the town said, there's this wonder worker, this miracle worker, the master of the good name, and they say, nothing is hidden from him, so why not go ask him? Perhaps he can help." So my father sent his orderly and summoned the Baal Shem Tov and asked for an appointment, but the Baal Shem Tov sent back word that he was much too busy and could not see my father. My father was, of course, used to being obeyed, so he sent back his orderly with a bit of a threat. If the Baal Shem Tov will not see him, he will station one or more soldiers in every Jewish home in the town. And this was a serious threat, not just because they had to feed these soldiers, but also, like now, Passover was coming. And so they were going to have chametz brought into their houses. Be real trouble. So the Baal Shem Tov sent back word that although he had absolutely no time, a time had been set for an appointment. And when my father showed up, he entered, and through a room in the living room, he saw the Baal Shem Tov sitting with his head bent over a holy book. And out of habit, he went to straighten his tie in a mirror, but he didn't see his own reflection. In fact, amazingly, he saw a familiar road, the road leading to his hometown. He couldn't believe his eyes, so he called his orderly and said, "Look in this mirror, what do you see?" And they saw the same thing. And then the road passed them by. They found themselves on a familiar street where his house was, then in front of his door, entering, and then seeing his wife sitting writing a letter at the dining room table. And as if they could see over her shoulder, he saw the words of the letter. "My dear, I'm so sorry that I haven't returned your letters. I've been so busy with the pregnancy and the birth of your new child, your new boy. And I'm well, and the baby's well. So please, won't you come home and see your new son?" Well, when my father heard this news, he forgot where he was and rushed back to his quarters. And when he arrived, there on his desk was a letter. And when he opened it up, he read it again and again and again, because it was word for word what he'd seen in the mirror of the Baal Shem Tov. "And Rabbi, I was that baby about whom my mother wrote to my father in that letter. And you can see the whole story here in my father's journal. And please, Rabbi, now bless me." And the Alter Rebbe said, "If you're good to the Jews, you'll live a long, healthy life. For it's written in our Torah, I'll bless those who bless Abraham." Tzomo Lecho Nafshi, Kama Lecha Besari,
Chodecha